power feels so royal. 1 second, I'ma strike for you. Diamond platinum, no more for you. That adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That glow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. 100 miles gunning from the pitcher's mouth. Straight game face, it's game day. See me running through the crowd.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon around the world to Rain Nation. I am so excited to be with you today. Normally, we have what we call our Be the Breakthrough presentation every single Saturday at the same time around the world. And today we're actually translating in English and Spanish, Italian, Turkish, Bosnian, Croatian, Hungarian. It's so exciting to be able to have all these languages and the global acceptance and excitement that's coming from all of you today. I see all of you calling in and signing in. And if you're not yet signed in, sign in now and let us know where you're calling in from, because it's so fun to see the chat go crazy. And as you're going to hear today, it's a very special day. We're actually doing a Thunderstorm Saturday today. And this is a very special presentation, as you're going to hear from two very special people that have made such an impact in all of our lives in so many ways. And I am so, so thrilled in my own personal feeling of having a chance to work together with them so closely, together with Randy Gage and, of course, Michael Smith and all the general managers from around the world, and, you know, such great guys over in legal and in finance, because the company is a global enterprise. And today we're going to have a chance to hear from the two guys that are running the trains right now and making things happen. And they're going to have a chance to tell you what's happening, what's happened, what's going to happen, their vision, their feelings, their commitment, their excitement about all of you and about those of you that are guests here today. You have a special chance just to drop in and hear from the two guys in our corporate executive setting and our founder, okay, our president, and to be able to hear their vision. So I get to kick it off to a dear friend of mine. Gosh, I've known this gentleman for, you know, over 20 years. We've worked together, and this is a guy that, you know, has such a heart and is such a love for people, and has done so many things for me and my husband in our life and for our teams around the world today. And he's come here to Rain because he saw something really, really special. And I feel so blessed that, you know, he picked up the phone and he told me and Randy about it first. And we had a chance to come together with the gentleman you'll hear from later, our founder. So I get to kick it off to my dear friend, who today happens to be in San Antonio, Texas. And he's going to tell you why, okay? But a very special guy, a very special friend, and that is Mr. Jeff Higginson. Over to you, Jeff.
Oh, thank you, Ann, for that very kind and warm introduction. It's so good to be with all of you from all over the world today. And Ann's right. I'm in San Antonio, Texas today. I'm down here with my sons and son-in-law to watch the college football Alamo Bowl between BYU and Colorado. And it has been an absolute unbelievable time. I don't know if any of you have ever been here or not, walked downtown on the River Walk and saw and ate the amazing foods here. It's just absolutely awesome. So thank you, Ann. And I am coming to you from a hotel room, so I apologize about that. But so excited to be with you today to recap this last year and to look forward to 2025. And as I think about what we have done as a company over the course of the last year, it really and truly is mind-boggling in so many ways. So many things were done here at Rain International. And I remember the first time hearing about Rain and sitting with Travis Parry, our founder, who you'll hear momentarily from, and listening to him talk about this seed story. And I remember thinking, geez, I haven't heard of this. This has been around for a long time. Why haven't I heard about this story? And, we've gone to dinner so many times, we've traveled together, we've spent time together, and we had this, just this, I don't know, it was like maybe defining moment, maybe timing. I believe in that kind of thing that, sometimes in life, a time presents itself. And when it presents itself, the question we always ask ourselves, are we prepared to receive it? Are we prepared to achieve it? Is it something that we're ready to take on? And as we talked about that over the ensuing months, about rain and its foothold on the world and what it could be, I really and truly believed that this company could take nutrition to the world at such high levels. It's in such a capacity that we could grow this thing by the tens of thousands of people getting the nutrition they needed, the help they needed to be a part of this amazing story. And as that's happened, I realized that there were things that, from my perspective, that needed to happen within the company. And we went to work very quickly. And of course, you just heard from one of those, Ann Feinstein. And she certainly was, she and Randy, the first people I called to tell about this story, to introduce to Travis, to bring into this opportunity that I just believe so much in. And then to meet all of you and to see and feel your hearts and to know what you really wanted and your dreams and to be a part of this movement, this company that we believed we could take to a completely another level. And that's where I'm at. And that's what brings me here today. It brings me such joy to think about all of you and to see what you've done and to see how this company has been able to take some of these things and maneuver and show its flexibility, if you will, and allow for it to become something that's setting on a platform ready to launch into a place that we all think and know it can go and become a part of that. And I think of the pioneers, those of you that are on this call that have been here since the beginning or for many years or in the last couple of years, and what you have meant to this company, the fingerprints that you've laid on this company. And then all of the new people, those of you that are on today, in this pursuit to take this to masses and truly change lives. I want to say a couple things. When we brought 2.0 to the table, we recognized that there were things we had to do. And I want to highlight some of those from this past year and kind of do a year-end review, if you will, of the successes that Rain International has had. First and foremost, Seeds for Change. To touch the people that we are touching and have been able to touch through Seeds for Change in this company is remarkable. And how that is being set up to be able to make a difference around the world and to change people's lives, to take something to people that matter, that makes a difference. And that is a big piece of my why. You can do anything you want to do in this business and in life, but if you don't have a why in your heart, if you really don't have that purpose, then I'm not sure that it can go very far ever until we have that. And that Seeds for Change is so powerful to me at this stage in my life, to see people have things, to get things that they don't have, that I've come that honestly in my life that it just happens and that I take for granted. And to see these people have some of these things happen for them in their lives truly matters to me. And it is my why. And it's so great to work with a partner like Travis, who has such a deep love for this piece, this component. And I see a day where we probably spend 95% of our time on Seeds for Change, helping people around the world, going into places that we're able to provide goods and services and things for people that are less fortunate than we are, and it's making a difference. I want you to know your contributions to the Seeds for Change organization has made a huge impact. and a huge difference in the lives of people. And it's something you can hold on to and take to. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the launch of Beat. This isn't just a launch of an ordinary product. We took a product and we were able to bring the very best of the beetroot, the very best, and bring it together and marry it with an L-arginine and put these things together. And quite frankly, folks, for the first time, it isn't out there like that. And people, I remember, said, why would you do that? Why would you just not bring two separate products? Why would you combine them? You can make so much more money. And it's not about that. What it's about is bringing the best nutrition through seeds to the world that we know that it has. We combine that, and that makes it less expensive for the end user. If we're really here trying to bring products, great products to people, is it really about money? Is it really about making more products out of one to make it more viable to the pocketbook? No, it's not. Not on my watch, not on this founder's watch, and not on this company's watch. It's the time to bring the best to the world. And this Beat product, folks, it is a game changer in the way it opens the vessels, dilates the vessels, the way it works in our bodies, in our system that we have to have every day. And then to be able to take all the other products behind that and have the body working at its highest, most prolific rate of taking stuff in, because that product has been able to open vessels, dilate, and to allow circulation to take place, is a game changer. And so that's one that I am grateful for, and that I'm truly, that I believe will be a product that, as we continue to enhance throughout time, we're going to get that into a convenient, easy way. It's going into sachets. This is going to be a product that will be able to take on the road quickly. You'll be able to take it anywhere. We are going to make sure of that to bring that convenience to all of you. The launch of Bulgaria and Turkey, extraordinary opportunities for our company. And both of these markets have brought leadership that is second to none. When you think about leaders in this profession, I've been doing this a long time, second to none in leadership and what these people have brought to our company and how they will change the world. You know, I'm not sure that I know of one company that brought and expanded the map in 2024. I know of thousands of companies that brought it to a smaller size, that started to shrink the foot map that they had because of challenges, because of economies, because of whatever it is. And here at Rain, we saw the opportunity to expand and to take our great story into the homes of many, many more people. That's an extraordinary feat for 2024, and one that many, many can't. And some would say, what are you expanding for? You know, this is a tough time in the profession. Why would you do that? Well, not only did we do it, we doubled down and we made sure that not only we expanded, but we expanded the incentive packages and everything else. We launched a new enhanced compensation plan. And to see the increase of those checks up 33%, to me, makes all of the difference in the world. That's a huge thing for 2024. To see increased checks, to see more people making money, and to see rank advancement take place, that's a big deal. That compensation plan was a great timing delivery for our company and made a huge difference. We hired an experienced COO, someone that understood the logistics, brought in the IT, brought in it all and kind of tied it together. And Michael Smith, the years that he has in this profession, was a great hire for us. And it was a place that we could start to beef up the IT team a little bit as well, which we have done. And we will continue to do. We brought in a new back office. And, you know, that's one of the things that I always heard about here at Rain was the back office part was a challenge. It was tough. It was difficult. To be able to bring that up to a newer and a better level, more efficient level. And folks, we're not done. it continues to get better from here. 2.0 and what we've been able to launch in tools around the globe, the events, the presidential tours, going to the people, seeing each of you, being with each of you has meant everything to me. It's meant everything to Rain, to be able to see you, to hear your story, to understand what that is. And so when I think about 2024, I will never forget this year, because it was a year where we were able to build a launch pad, a platform, if you will, something that was built upon from those who have come before us and positioned it to be able to place the rocket, to place it on the stand for 25 and 26 and for decades to come. Rain International is not going anywhere, folks. It's going nowhere but up. And I will tell you that the decision you have in your business now really comes down to this. Can I get behind this story? Can I get behind Seeds for Change? Does that matter to me? Does the story matter to me enough that I can take it into the homes of thousands of people and truly make a change? Does the compensation plan allow me to fulfill my personal dreams? Does it allow me to go out and attract other people? Does the products, do they work? And all of this stuff, that's the question that is placed before you this day as we prepare to launch into 2025. And for those of you that it does, I want you to know that the next year, when we come on at this year-end review, will be different for you because you engaged, you plugged in, you went to work, and you believed in people. And with that, what I want to do is turn some time over to my dear friend and our founder to be able to share his story, to be able to talk about the investment, folks, that he has made here at Rain. And let me tell you something, having been around this for a long, long time, when you talk about millions and millions of dollars being put into a company, being put into infrastructure, into science, into testing, into manufacturing, into country openings, these things don't just happen by saying we're opening. There is a tremendous amount that goes into this and an investment. And this guy has put it in from the day I said yes to him, from the day he came here and brought this all together. My friend and our founder, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Travis Parry.
Jeff, thank you. You're always so gracious in your words. And I just want to let the Rain Nation understand and know that this gentleman that just got done speaking is not just my friend. He's a strength. He's a pillar. He's somebody that not only I can rely on, but all of you can rely on. He's experienced. He's been through the ups and downs of this industry in many ways. He's as well-rounded as a president as you're going to find. Somebody that gets the field part of it, that gets the recognition part of it, that gets the operations part of it, that understands finances, that understands comp plans, that understands how important people are. And you couldn't have anybody better working, fighting, struggling, believing in and for you in the field than Jeff Higginson. And I want to let him know personally that I love his soul. I do. I love his soul. And I appreciate his help and his strength. So I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit today, friends, because for years and years and years now, and not because it was bad or wrong, because it needed to be this way, but a lot of folks thought that Byron Belka was the person that started this company. And in a lot of ways, he was very instrumental in it. He was. But I need you to know that that actually the way the story started was more than 15 years ago. And a company called Rain Nutrition actually approached me at Innovative Flex Pack, my manufacturing company, and asked if I would produce a couple of products for them. Gave me some details on black cumin seed, gave me some data and some information from Dr. Arnold at the University of Minnesota, which is also where the Mayo Clinic resides, one of the greatest research clinics in the world. And asked my team and myself to put together Soul. That was the first product that we put together for Rain. Well, I was so impressed when they came to me with the studies that I read and the information they provided and the conversations that I had with them about seeds and about the power of black cumin seed, black raspberry seed, red raspberry seed, and so many other things, that we went to work and we produced what I felt like was the single greatest anti-inflammation product on the planet in Soul. And I also was so infatuated, and I was so, I'm going to say that I was inspired. I was moved by what they were teaching and by the message that they were sharing, because it just felt right. And it was so simple. It was so simple to understand that anybody could understand it. Seed source nutrition. So friends, I want to tell you right now that before I ever bought Rain Nutrition and it became Rain International, I invested over $2 million in the original Rain Nutrition company. I licensed most of Central and Eastern Europe. I licensed Taiwan. I licensed the Greater China area in Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, and I even put $1 million into opening Korea, which we never really got all the way towards. So on top of that, Innovative FlexPack, the company that I owned that produced and made the formulation of Soul, also manufactured over $1 million worth of product for Rain Nutrition that they didn't happen to ever get around to paying us for. So I was into the original Rain Nutrition over $3 million before they ever made a decision that they were going to kind of fold up shop and close it. Their hearts really weren't in it. They didn't really understand what they had. So when I heard this and I heard what was going on, I had never met Byron before. We'd communicated a few times via text, email, maybe even phone. I might have met him once, but I didn't know him. I didn't. But what I did know is I was the CEO and founder of a very fastly growing manufacturing company that had multiple locations and that I was nearly $20 million into and would be almost $35 million into when I ended up selling it. And it was busy. We were working 7 days a week. I had 530 full-time employees. We were working 24 hours a day. We were producing tens of millions of sachets, bottles, tubes, containers in the natural nutraceutical supplement world. And so I didn't have a lot of bandwidth. So when I found out that this thing was going to just be kind of shut down, I stepped in immediately. I mean, I didn't wait at all. And I reached out to the original owners and I said, guys, I want to buy this. I love the message. I think it's the greatest message in the world because it's true and because it's simple, because it goes back to the very roots of creation. And that meant a lot to me because if you don't know me yet, many of you will find out that I'm very open about my belief in the divine. I don't push my faith on people. I don't expect to. I expect and love the God of every single religion. I think it's the same God that loves us all. But I do, and I'm very, very touched and moved by my feelings and my faith. And so in my study of books that I love and that I feel inspired and have been moved and impressed and strengthened by, there is story after story and statement after statement and parable after parable that talks about seeds. That talks about seeds in the beginning, at the creation, and the great creator of all things used seeds and covered this great earth that was created with plants, with flowers, with fruits and vegetables and herbs of every kind. But specifically it mentioned that they used seeds. They used seeds. I remember the story and parable that if I just had enough faith, just as big as a grain of mustard seed, one of the smallest seeds in the world, I could move a mountain. I thought, wow, if I just had enough faith as a small little seed. But there was that seed again. But the thing that was great about that seed is if you looked anything up about mustard seeds, is a little teeny mustard seed becomes a pretty big bush and plant once it gets cultivated, developed, and has time to grow if it's nurtured correctly. And in my founder's video a few months ago, I talked about potential. Potential means a lot to me because, and I was pretty open, and I am fairly open a lot of times about my concerns, about my weaknesses, about who I am as a person, that I'm just as broken. I have just as many weaknesses and struggles and scares as any of you. That I had a very difficult time when I went on a couple of year mission for the church that I belonged to. And as a young 19 and 20-year-old young man, I felt like I was drowning. And as much as it hurt, and I cried and I begged and I pled, but I also learned that there was something special inside of me that was being taken care of and that other people made a difference. And so it wasn't just the products or the formulation of the products, because I knew that the products were excellent, and they still are. And there's great symbolism. Don't think that there's not any purpose in the name Soul as our flagship product, okay? In the name Core as our next product, and then in the name Beat as our latest product. Friends, if you know me at all, you know that taking care of the soul of an individual, getting to the core of that individual, healing things at the core rather than addressing the symptoms, okay? And also the heart of an individual, or the heart of the soul, the heart of the body. And that's what Beat represents. There is so much more to Rain International than healing or helping the body, which is a greatest miracle in creation that's ever been done. The body is the miracle. Rain International is here to fuel it and feed it correctly with seed source nutrition. I love the fact that the more complicated and the more sophisticated this world gets, I think that you're going to see a continued movement. And I don't want to use the word backlash because that implies negativity. I don't want to, but a counter movement towards the more sophisticated AI and other things become, the more that all of us are going to be looking towards simpler, easy to understand, powerful answers. And that's what Rain provides. Seed source nutrition is pure. It's original. It has created and taken care of this earth for millions and millions of years and billions of people. And it will continue to do so. So when I took the company over, as busy as I was, I bought it out of foreclosure. I contacted Mr. Belka, who, by the way, I loved him. I loved Byron and got to know him pretty well fairly quickly. I asked Byron to come out of the field and to lead the company because I just didn't have time. I did not have time. And so that's where Byron and I came together. And that's where Byron's story entered Rain. Rain International then became, because I was under contract with so many of our competitors, that I needed to be quiet, that I needed to not disclose myself, that I needed to keep myself private and confidential, which I did a very, very, very good job of because I needed to. I had made commitments. I honor the commitments that I make. At least I try really hard. So you won't find videos of me. I didn't attend events. I didn't engage with leaders. I didn't do videos. I didn't make messages. I didn't reach out to leaders. I did very little. And frankly, my hands did not have a lot to do with the day-to-day operations. The other thing that I think that people, and I just like to kind of let people know a little bit is, when this was all going on, the people that actually I bought the company from actually sold the distributor list and a couple of the formulas to one of the biggest publicly traded companies in the space behind my back. So when I thought I was purchasing the company, I was also a little bit deceived in that situation and ended up being sued by a $500 million 30-year-old Goliath for $1.5 million, which I ended up having to pay every cent of. But I did that also to save and defend this message and this company. Now, I'm not saying this or telling you these stories because I want you to feel bad for me or because I think that I'm a martyr. I'm not a martyr, but I need you to understand that I was $4.5 million into Rain International when I took the thing over. $2 million that I already put into Rain Nutrition, over $1 million, almost $1.2 million in product that was never paid for. And now I was in a lawsuit for $1.5 million with one of the Goliaths in the marketplace, which, by the way, is still around. And even with all of that, they just couldn't keep us down. They couldn't keep the message down because it was too true. In its purity and in its innocence and its simplicity, it was so powerful. It just needed some evangelists. Then it needed some people that understood it. And it needed some people that reflected the soul, the core, and the beat of the company. Because friends, truth is truth is truth. You don't need a marketing spin. You don't need a marketing message. You don't need somebody to tell you some fabulous story that's almost unbelievable to defend the truth. The truth is powerful all by itself. And the truth of the Rain story is that seeds are the origin of all nutrition. Drop the mic, throw it away, stomp on it, take out the power, raise your eyes and your hands to the heavens and just say hallelujah and thank you, because it's true. It's true. And I knew it was true and I felt it was true. So that's how we got involved. And that's how the company really got started. And that's how the company really began. It didn't begin like any other company, ever. It began with Travis Melton Parry up in an 8-foot grave, 7.5 feet. All you could see was my eyes and my forehead, okay? All you could see was my eyes and my forehead. But I'll be dipped if the truth wasn't going to set me free and wasn't going to inspire me to be stronger, more resilient, more inspired, tougher, and more ready and able to stand tall for that which matters most. It is potent, it's powerful, it's pure. Okay? And now it's purposeful. That's my 4th P. It's powerful, it's pure, it's purposeful. And it will always be purposeful. One of the other things I loved about it is I'm a true natural health guy. In fact, you can talk to my youngest son, Jack, and many of you do. And honestly, there is a lot of times where he tells me to take the preacher off the stand and just stop it. And I'm like, Jack, if you take the preacher off the stand, you might as well take Travis off the stand, because I'm just being who I am, as authentic and genuine as I possibly can. Okay. Well, the fact of the matter is I had learned something when I was a young man. I had learned what it felt like to be broken. I had learned what it felt like to be so alone and afraid. I had learned what it felt like to need other people so incredibly badly. And I've told you that story. When the first time I ever came out and spoke publicly in Oslo 18 months ago, and I stood on that stage and I cried. And I told you how lonely I was, how scared I was, how I pled with the God that I believe in to save me, to help me, to lift me, because I just simply wanted to do as much good as I could. And 3 beautiful women stepped in: Jill Hill, Jennifer DeMott, and Betsy Garner. And by golly, did they ever lift me up. If you want to talk about health and wellness, these products are the basis of great physical health. But Rain is a health and wellness company. Us as individuals and people caring for one another, networking with one another, introducing these great products and this plan and this company to one another is genuine, authentic wellness. And friends, wellness is just as important, if not more, than health. The situation has been explained very well, okay, in Abraham Maslow's hierarchy pyramid of needs. It doesn't matter how powerful the message is or how much good you can do for other people with their minds, their hearts, and their lives if you don't meet their basic needs. So the basic purpose for Rain International is great products, because great products help build the foundation of great health. If you do not have solid physical health, you cannot move forward into the other parts of becoming fully yourself and fully realizing who you are and who you can become and the greatness that lies within you. So we address that need at Rain, but we don't stop there. We don't stop there. I remember about 4 or 5 months before I came home from my missionary experience, I was out with my companion. His name actually happened to be Mapa Nyata. He was a Samoan, okay? He was a Samoan from Salt Lake City, Utah, and we were companions for 3 months in Macon, Georgia, okay? Down in the South, the deep South here in the United States. And it was a Saturday afternoon, late in the afternoon. And we were out knocking doors, which isn't the funnest thing to do. These are complete strangers. There's quite a few of them that probably need to have a few more lessons in how to be kind to somebody and just say you're not interested without swearing at them or flipping them off or telling them that that Satan was more popular than they were. But it happens, and it was good for me. But we were out knocking in this neighborhood. We came upon just an older home. I can still remember it was white, not much to it. And we knocked on the door. It was a Saturday afternoon. And a fine African-American gentleman in his 40s came to the door. And when he came to the door, I spoke up and I said, hey, I'm Elder Parry, and this is my companion, Elder Nyata. And we're just in the neighborhood sharing a message that God loves everybody, that he loves everybody. And the gentleman, I think, originally wanted to tell us to just hit the road, but something just kind of hit him, and he invited us in. Well, when he invited us in, I heard a story of debauchery, deceit, sex, drugs, and theft, just about anything else you can possibly think of that Travis Melton Parry had never, ever heard or participated in his whole life. And this gentleman then looked at me and said, I don't believe God loves me because I haven't thought about or looked after him for almost 40 years. And I looked right at him and I said, with all the belief I had in my heart, he sure does. He loves you because you're you, and he always will. So he started to ask us some questions, and we started to respond and give him some answers. And this discussion went on for about 30 or 35 minutes. And about 30 or 35 minutes into this discussion, he asked a question, and we reaffirmed and reassured that he was loved. In fact, we told him that we loved him as 20-year-old young man. And I don't know what it was, but the atmosphere had changed significantly. It had changed dramatically. And this gentleman broke down into tears and just started to sob. He fell on his knees onto the ground in his front room and just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And then he jumped up and ran off down the hall to the very back of his home and went into his bedroom. And I could hear him back there just crying. Well, my companion looks at me and he's like, what are we going to do? I mean, we really don't walk into the back of people's homes. And, we're not the FBI. We're not ATF. We're not policemen. So he thought, maybe we ought to leave. But, Travis Parry being Travis Parry, I didn't leave. That was the wise thing to do. That was the realistic, smart thing to do. I went back behind. I didn't go all the way down the hall because I felt like that wasn't my place, because it wasn't my home. But I stood at the mouth of that hall and I called to this fine man and I told him, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Hey, come back out. Let me give you a hug, and let's at least pray together. Well, a few minutes later, here he comes, and he can hardly breathe. He's so choked up, and the tears are coming down my face, and the tears are coming down my companion's face. And he comes back out and he says, I just need you to know, I have never felt that God cared for me or that I was worth a red nickel cent until today. And he said, it doesn't make any sense. Two white guys that are half my age? You guys don't know enough. You haven't experienced enough about life. But something today, it touched me, it pierced me. It reminded me, and for the first time, I do feel loved. For the first time in my life, I feel like that there's hope for me. And I gave him a big old hug. And I told him, there sure is. You are loved. You'll always be loved. You are a human being. Every human being on this planet is valued and is worthwhile and is unique and special just because they're them. And I told him, I love you. I love you. We said a little prayer. He thanked us profusely, and I walked away and walked out of that door. Well, let me tell you something, friends. His life wasn't changed the most that day. Mine was. Mine was. Mine was because I took the time to talk to a complete stranger that I had never met before, that was more than twice my age, that just needed somebody, anybody, to tell and remind him of who he was, of what it meant to be valued, of what it meant to be a person, to lift him and to encourage him, to hold his hand and to help him be well, to put him on a path of healing in all parts of his life. That is my message. That is my why. That is the very reason behind the Seeds for Change Foundation, which I love and I commit to and is so dear to my heart. There were multiple times in my growing up, and I hinted towards some of these things in Venice. I had a growing up that was less than peaceful at times. My parents were separated on multiple occasions for months, one time for as long as 15 months. I did not like my dad. It was a very abusive situation. It was very scary to me. It was. And from that day forward, we were on welfare, church assistance. We could not eat. We could not pay our house payment. We could not pay our utilities. We had no money at all without help. During those times, there was times I was embarrassed. There was times I was embarrassed. But I still remember to this day that if it weren't for the Deseret label on meat and cereal and our bills being paid by the church, being on WIC and getting government support, my brothers and my sisters and myself wouldn't have been able to survive. We wouldn't have had a home. So the Seeds for Change Foundation means a lot to me because, friends, I understand what it means to not be able to help yourself, to need the assistance of those outside of you and your personal life and influence. As a 12 and 13 and 14 and 15-year-old young man, I couldn't go earn the money. I was involved in sports. I was a straight A student. I was preparing for my future. My mom babysat kids, but we just didn't make enough, and we couldn't do it without help. I also understood very clearly that when people can't eat, nor can they drink, it doesn't do a whole lot of good to talk to them about who they really are and hug them and love them and try and help them self-actualize, because the first thing they need is they need to eat and they need to drink and they need to take care of their children and their families. So the Seeds for Change Foundation will always mean a lot to me, because I know what it feels like to not have it. And I know what it feels like to look in your mom's eyes and see the worry and see the concern. And I also know what it feels like to have other people step in and help. I am committed for the rest of my life to lift up arms that hang down, to strengthen feeble needs, to provide food and shelter, kindness and love, protection and security, anywhere and everywhere that I go or that the company that I represent goes. I love Seeds for Change. I feel so blessed to be a part of it. I am so grateful and thankful for each of you. I have had some of the most inspiring, edifying, uplifting conversations, even this past week. I have received countless well wishes. And Trav, hey, how'd the surgery go? Trav, you okay? I hope you're healing. If you don't know, I guess I should explain that I had a total right hip replacement 3.5 weeks ago. And I was pretty scared, but it went very well. And I'm healing and doing well that way. But I need all of you to know that RAIN International is here to stay. That RAIN International has never been in a better place. That RAIN International's why and its story are so incredibly powerful, whether I state them or Jeff states them or Randy states them or anybody else in the world states them, they're true. And because they're true, they have power and strength and they can move things. The opportunity or invitation that each of us has is, are we going to join that movement? Are we going to saddle up? Are we going to hitch ourselves to the purity and the power of seed sourced nutrition? Are we going to commit ourselves to being all in a company that looks out for other people, that's concerned for those that are on the margins, that wants to lift people that cannot lift themselves, and that's willing to lock arms with one another to get there? Friends, the best is yet to come. I have never felt more quietly confident than I feel right now. I have never felt like we had people in the right places doing the right things, believing with all their hearts like they do now. We are about to enter the greatest movement in the history of this industry. I mean that. 2025 is going to be a banner year. 2026 is going to make 2025 look like a footnote. 2027, I'm going to have to manage Randy Gage's ego, because he is going to be making quite a bit of money and he's going to be moving and touching a lot of people. And I say that in jest because I have gotten to love and understand this man for who he really is. And he's a fine man full of integrity. I love the people that I work with. Our corporate people love the company. They are committed and devoted. I love our president, as I've said before. I am so proud and pleased of the new leaders and those that have fought so hard for so long. I love our general managers. And most of all, I love the truth. And as I say very often, I know that the truth will set me, you, and everybody free. Everyone. And freedom is an inalienable right. Is an inalienable right. I would like to leave with a message that I feel like is the single greatest message that the great canonical books teach, and the greatest message that this world can share, and that we can share at RAIN, and that is, that men are, that they might have joy. Friends, our eternal purpose here and forevermore is to smile, is to have some contentment, is to feel at peace, is to be a little better than we were before. It's to recognize who we really are. It's to see the potential in others. It's to have our light, our eyes beam with light, and our smiles beam with strength and power, to where they just attract people because there's just something different about us and the goodness that we supply. I love our message. I love our products. I love Rain International. My name is Travis Melton Parry, and I am Rain. Back to you, Annie.
Woo. Travis, I don't think there's a dry eye in the place right now, okay? And I don't know if you can hear the hearts that are beating right now after hearing your heart and soul message today. Thank you so much. This is one of the things that makes it a blessing to be here with you, with your purity and your generosity and your vision. So thank you for giving all of us a very special place to come together. And thank you, Jeff Higginson, for leading the charge and taking on a lot of exciting challenges and really weaving through and making things happen in the most amazing way. So thank you. And I get a chance to turn it back to you, because what Travis was talking about was seeds for change, which touches all of our hearts. I know that you want to talk about how each and every one of us can be part of this and where you see it happening in 2025. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, my friend, Jeff Higginson.
Thank you so much. And Ann, Travis, your thoughts, I echo what Ann just said. How do you not get behind something like that and feel it and say to yourself, hey, I might not have it perfect. My circumstances might not be the best. They might not be, I might not have it as good as another country because of whatever. But when you feel the heart of somebody, when you see that, when you know that heart and what it means, how can you not? And my message today, as I conclude with how you can become a part of this, is to believe a little more, to believe in yourself as well as in what you've heard today. As a football coach for a lot of years, for 30 years I've been in coaching. I have seen the highs of highs. I've known what the lows are like. I know what competitive play is. I know how to compete. I know all those things and the stories that have touched my heart that has helped me in my business career as I move forward. I've been on buses where we stopped to eat and not every kid got off because not every kid had enough money to eat. I've seen kids get the very best of equipment and some wear someone else's from the previous year. I've seen everything you can see in the field of competition. And I see, and it's so close to what we get to do every day. This is why I love network marketing. It's like coaching and preparing for the greatest game that we could ever be in. I'm telling you, the greatest game out there is Rain International. It's great because of its people, its founder, its corporate people, its field people, its story, its science. It's the greatest that you can be out involved in. There could have been a million places that I went, a million places that at this point in my career. In fact, we were talking not too long ago. I had a really significant offer come to me not long ago to be with a company that, quite frankly, has pushed the ceiling off the $1 billion marks before. But here's what this comes down to. Here's what it is for me. For me, it comes down to, who do I want to partner with? Who do I want to be with? Guys, I worked in a company that had great products. I gave everything to that company. For 8 months, I did not receive a paycheck. After I had gotten things started for 8 months. I remember sitting on my porch one night about 2:30 in the morning. It felt like the world was caving in. I thought it was over. I didn't know what to do. I was afraid. You talk about being afraid, Trav. I've been afraid. I've been down big in sports. I've been down big here. This company has been here by the grace of God, never making a profit. And I say that because I need you to understand that my wife and I always had this saying from the beginning of our marriage, from the time we started, when we were making risks, we had this little thing that we would say, the worst that could happen to us is that we find a trailer somewhere, and as long as we had 2 recliners and a wood-burning stove, we'd be just fine. And you know, that's how I feel today. Abby said, you love this company. I see it back. She asks about it. My wife asks about it all of the time. She knows the people by name. She hasn't met them yet, but she will. And you'll love her. You'll absolutely love her. But she said, Jeff, this is something that's worth the risk, isn't it? And I said, it's worth the risk. Everything we have, we would put into this. Because the worst would be that she and I, coming from not much, would find ourselves in a trailer somewhere with 2 recliners and wood-burning stove, and we would be well worth the movement here. This is the 4th quarter. This is a time in a football game or a basketball game or at a game where adjustments are made, where you have to find ways to change, to make changes, and to win. Find the right play. Find the right movement. As I look you in the eye, I will tell you that that has been drawn up. Rain International is never going to be the same. The resources are here. The company has what it needs and will continue to have what it needs. The naysayers out there expected it to die long ago. No company that I know of in my research has ever succeeded and made it to this point after never making any money. By the grace of God, it's here because of a story, because of its truth, because of the truth that Travis just spoke about. And because of that truth, we will be able to pave our way forward. I want you to know that in the coming year, you will see diamonds come to fruition. You will see new and movements of new people coming up. You will see pioneers who have been here from the beginning touch heights they've never seen. You will see that happen. I promise you will see that happen. Will it take effort? It will take effort beyond anything I've seen. I've been here and I know what that effort looks like, and it is on full display. It will be a full court press every time down the floor. It will be being in 13 cities in 13 days overseas. It will be moving from event to event. It will be continuing to create science, introducing the best of the best from seed nutrition to the world. It will be looking at countries and finding the gems that are buried within those countries. This isn't the time to bow out, folks. It's the time to re-engage. It's the time to find truth, your purpose. This company is going places, I promise you. And at the end of 2025, we will look back and we'll say, wow. For you in this company that want to make $500 every week, it's there for the taking. Does it make a difference? It doesn't only make a difference, it changes lives. Will this company pay thousands and thousands of dollars a week to people? Absolutely it will. But it isn't going to do it by sitting back in question. It isn't going to do it by sitting back wondering. It isn't going to do it by sitting back and hoping. Some wish for it. We work for it. And when we work for it, it will happen. And it will happen to each one of you if you left this call today and brought a new person in by sundown tonight. The difference starts there. That's where it changes the game. It changes by looking at your people and saying which one of you are going gold this month. How can I help you get there? What play do I have to draw up as a coach to help you succeed? That's where this company's going. We're going forward. All my luggage is on this cargo ship. All of it. It doesn't matter the offer that might come. It doesn't matter the opportunity that might come. Not for me. I'm looking at you, and people say this all the time. Well, geez, money talks. Let me tell you something, guys. What talks is hearts. What talks is people. What talks is effort and all of the things that make it real. That's what talks. This science talks. It's people talk. I'll be just fine on this ship. I'll be just fine playing this game. And I am committed to give each of you everything I have. Everything I have. I'm going to call on you like I've been doing to some throughout the holidays and asking for more. I'm going to be coaching you in ways that are going to sometimes be hard, that you're going to feel like, man, he's on my butt. He's pushing me too hard. Well, guess what? That's what it takes. It takes that in this business. And when I do it, you will always know that I love you. And I want to close with this thought. And I wrote this in a banquet that I just delivered to players the other night. In my life as a coach, it's risky to go in public. To go to a movie night with your wife depends on how well your team's doing, because you're going to run into people that always have comments no matter where you go. I've spoken as a coach at weddings. I have visited jails. Sadly, I have seen funerals of young people. I have taken calls in the middle of the night where a young man's contemplating his life. I tell you these things because this is the game we all play. It's the game of life we live every day. I've also seen and had calls where somebody calls me in the middle of the night and say, Coach, I'm a father. Just last night, a young man texted me and said, Coach, can you help me with groceries? I know I've asked once before. My mother has gone. These are things that matter. And why do I share this with you? Because I am telling you, to you, like I would tell a player, my door is always open. I will help you the entire way. We will do this together. Get in touch with me if you need that. Get in touch with me when you need somebody. Get in touch with me when your belief is trembling just a little bit. We're going to do this, and we're going to do it together. And then guess what? For you pioneers and to all of you that are new here, this will be the greatest story ever told. It'll be the greatest story ever told. How we love you and our people throughout the world, and this great story. We sympathize with your challenges. We recognize them. We recognize those that have had them sometimes come because of decisions we make. But I will tell you, you've jumped on a bus that's going to the championship. We will find our way there, and we will go through a few defeats along the way, but we will be there. You're in the fourth quarter. You're in the final lap. Don't bow out. Not now, not yet. Believe just a little more. God bless each of you. My name's Jeff Higginson, and I am as proud as ever to be Reign International. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Ann.
Jeff Higginson. Well, guys, listen. Now you know why I feel so blessed. Now you know why I feel so, loved and appreciated, because this is what Rain is about. And you've heard it from two men, and I can't even imagine anyone going deeper in their hearts and sharing their visions and sharing their dreams and their hopes for each and every one of us. So I am feeling the heart and the blessing that we've had here today. I know some of you came here to hear just about products and a compensation plan, but I think you got a bigger vision, a more heartfelt vision, a bigger understanding of what we have here at Rain. And if you're a guest here today, I strongly suggest that you get back to the person who invited you here today, okay? Get your questions answered and lock in your spot, because I will tell you that this is going to be the greatest ride of your professional career. And I am so excited and feel so blessed, and I want to give a hug to each and every one of you. It's a beautiful way to say goodbye to 2024 and put a beautiful bubble around it and say, you know, wishing and thanking for all the goodness that happened. But 2025, woo, guys, okay, get ready for the ride of your life. And I'm telling you, we've got incredible information, digital services, all kinds of good things happening in the background. We've got an amazing trip coming up to Costa Rica. Okay, many of us are going there, going to be together. Oh, I can't wait to give hugs. And we have Go Gold coming up, guys. Okay, if you're really wanting to go for it, get yourself to Gold so you can be with us in Utah and you can hug these guys directly. Okay, it's going to be an exciting 2025. And I say thank you to each and every one of you for being with us here today. If you're watching the replay, make sure you let us know you watch the replay, and have a wonderful and a beautiful, successful, prosperous, healthy 2025. Okay, see you all here next week for Be the Breakthrough presentation. Again, we'll be starting the new year. Okay, be here and bring some friends. Good night, everyone.
Shine bright like a diamond. Find light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we'd become one right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt the energy of sun rays. I saw the life inside you. Shine bright tonight. You and I, we're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I too, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shining bright like a diamond. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shining bright like a diamond. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Palms rise to the universe as we moonshine and Malay.